Hello, David Zaritsky for The Bond Experience. Welcome back. Okay, hold on a second. I know what you're saying. David, you're standing in front of Quantum of Solace. You're wearing some sort of, I don't know what that is, a crazy Daniel Craig Quantum of Solace camp shirt. You're even wearing your Quantum of Solace Omega watch. Is this a trap? Are you here to talk to us about Quantum of Solace? Yes and no, but don't go anywhere. Trust me on this, all right? You see, this is a video to discuss the unappreciated or even underappreciated James Bond films. And here it is, very early in the morning, and it's a rainy day, it's a weekend, and I thought of something, and it's a bit of a premise. Now, I know that you've seen debates and discussions galore about the underdog Bond films. You can name them all, and it's all subjective. You know, one person's garbage is another person's treasure, as they say. But I thought of something. Yeah, you see, I wore this shirt because it's very comfortable. I'm even wearing, hold on a second, yeah, look at this, sweatpants. This isn't a fancy video. Hold on a second. I even have slipper slides that were stolen from a Swiss hotel. Don't judge. You've done it yourself. Don't lie. I'm comfy. I didn't even shave. Look at this. And why? Because I am starting this morning early, and I am going to fill this rainy, cold day, of which I don't want to go out into, with James Bond films. But not any James Bond films. You see, I'm picking what I consider from the Bond community the most under or unappreciated Bond films. And I'm going to watch them all by actor. Yeah. I'm going to take one from each actor, and I'm going to walk them, and I'm going to talk to you about them after I watch each one. And what I'm going to do is I'm not going to sit there and analyze story or this and that. I'm going to relax. I'm getting some junk food today. I'm going to, just wear what I'm wearing. I'm not going to take calls. I'm not going to do work around it. This isn't for a Calvin Dyson video. This is just me, and I'm going to let it wash over me. And I want to see something. I want to see if I have a better appreciation for this unappreciated films that so many of you tend to gravitate to. I'm not going to watch Quantum of Solace. The reason I'm starting with this one is I'm that guy. I'm the guy. I'm the guy that watches Quantum of Solace and say, well, why don't people like this? It's a badass film with a badass Bond. I mean, I've given you tons of videos and conversations around why I like this. So we're not going to be talking about this one. We're going to be talking about the other ones. And it starts now. I'm going to shut this off. I'm going to get comfortable. And the first movie I'm starting with is Sean Connery's Diamonds Are Forever. Let's do this. Okay, Diamonds Are Forever. Yeah, did it. And I have to tell you, confessional time. This is a film that I hadn't seen in a long, long time. I mean years. And this is the film that really started this whole video of me going, you know what? I know it's underappreciated. People dog on it. They dog on it for the sign of the times, the fact that maybe Connery's not in the best shape. There's a long list of reasons. I realized Tiffany Case, she starts out very competent and then kind of turns into a bumbling fool. Like, it's very uneven as far as the story, but I didn't do any of that. I went in thinking, take a look at the furniture, the clothes, the dress, the fun aspects of this film, and I did just that. And I've got to tell you, yeah, folks, spread the news. I liked Diamonds Are Forever. I just did. What did I like about it? I like the fact that Sean Connery, as much as they ding him in this to kind of sleepwalking through this film, I didn't find that. I found that he was very much like James Bond. James Bond shouldn't care that much. He should kind of flit through things without a lot of care and time and focus. And I'm sorry, that's what Sean Connery's James Bond in this film did. I also went bonkers again over the henchmen. Wint and Kidd are genius henchmen. I love getting back to the fun of Bond. And this is where it kind of hit me, like midway through this film, I'm craving and I'm missing the fun of Bond. The letting down your hair and just eating popcorn and smiling and laughing and, you know, shaking my head over the crazy stunts that are in this film, like the car turning on its side. Amazing. Or even just some of the little parts and pieces like the ancillary characters were just unbelievably fun. You know, Willard White, you know, Shady Tree, some of these things that I think possibly some of the films of today, they ride so quickly through the film and focus so quickly on the main characters that you don't get these fun little peppering of these ancillary sidekick characters. And again, Wint and Kidd, just beautiful. So first film down, Diamonds Are Forever. I've got to say, I am appreciating this one more than ever, but hold on, this is a bit of a cheat because this is the one that I wanted to watch. Now, you would think we'd go to George Lazenby because I got to do an actor, but he's got one Bond film and it's good. So I don't need to go into that. I don't think it's an underappreciated or unappreciated movie at all. People have grown to appreciate it more as time goes on. So speaking of more as time goes on, we're going to Roger Moore, to one of my lowest rated James Bond films and another underappreciated one. Let's head over to A View to a Kill. Okay, you can let people know that David Zaritsky has been marked safe from A View to a Kill. Okay, cute. So with that opening, you think I'm going to go into this diatribe about, I don't know if I really gravitated to this film. I don't know if I really connected to it, etc. But that's not what I'm going to do. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm saying this. I liked this film when I watched it today. Now, I get it. I'm in a situation right now where I've poured into my mind, dare I say, lowered my expectations. And today is a day of watching Bond films that don't always make the grade. And this one always made the bottom of my ranking list. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, I had absolute fun watching this. Christopher Walken, always been great, but it wasn't just him this time. I really liked Roger Moore in this. And the problem that I think I had in the past was watching Roger Moore and tisk-tisking, you know, when he was against Tanya Roberts and going like, oh, look at the age difference and look how old he looks and he can hardly move. And no, I'm sorry. Roger Moore is giving a consistent performance of James Bond through all of his films. He doesn't waver too much. I mean, when you look at Daniel Craig and you look at Casino Royale and Quantum of Solace and then jump to No Time to Die, it's a tale of two Bonds. I've talked about this before. It's not to ding him. He's one of my favorite Bonds. But the consistency of the character, I think, wavered at times. Roger Moore is Roger Moore's James Bond. You know, I get it. You think Ian Fleming's James Bond. No, it's Roger Moore's James Bond. And so the campiness, the one-liners, he says it with such charm. He says it with such conviction, and he says it without winking at the audience and going, do you see how ridiculous this is? So he sold it, and I bought it. I mean, I bought it without coupons. And I also had fun with the story. I mean, this thing gets dinged a lot for the way it was filmed, that it doesn't look lush, and the colors, and there's a lot of things that it gets dinged for. But I got to tell you something, I didn't see it this time around. I just took it all in. I thought the coloring looked great. I think the sumptuous, does San Francisco look a little bunky with the, you know, the ladder, the hook and ladder type scenario with the fire engine? Yeah, I mean, that wouldn't be authentic of me not to say it didn't. There were moments like that, you know, the background and the Beach Boys thing. But even the Beach Boys thing, I actually laughed out loud. I lolled. I did, because I went going in at the ridiculousness of it. And again, I gotta say it, you know, coming off of, like, if I had just watched No Time to Die, you would want this sorbet, sherbety, rainbow palate cleanser, which is exactly what A View to a Kill is. It's goofy and bonkers. And I love the fact, gosh, I can't believe I said that. I love the fact that we have Bond films that are bonkers, that could just be goofy. So I liked it. I mean, you're saying to yourself, all right, David, do you like it so much that it's going up the stepladder? I don't know. That's not what this video is about, but I really liked it, I think, more than I ever did. Oh, and Mayday. Mayday. Why have I not really gravitated to Mayday this whole time? She was amazing. She was fantastic. And she even had that story arc. I mean, what henchman, bad guy has a story arc like her where, you know, bad, loyal, sort of wavering, turns, sees an emotional arc, and then sacrifices herself? None. But this film has it. I don't know. All right. Get centered, David. Om. Don't White Lotus yourself. Just get prepared, because you're going into the world of Timmy Dalton, with License to Kill. Here we go, 80s. Here we go. You can hear the 80s music started. Oh, yeah. I got a license to kill, and you know you're going straight through the heart. License to Kill down. Okay. Now, I knew this wasn't going to be a perfect marathon day. I'm still smiling, but is it real? No, it is real. Listen, a Bond film is a Bond film. It's still better than watching a documentary on paint drying, of course. But License to Kill is a sign of the times. It still has that, you know, 1980s sort of action-oriented look to it, of course, because it was filmed by the people that brought you Lethal Weapon and a lot of those pieces like the slow motion running and things like that. It connects to all the reasons in the past that I said License to Kill. I don't like it as much as Living Daylight. Some of you absolutely love it. But this is about appreciating the unappreciated or the underappreciated. And this is definitely an underappreciated film, even by yours truly. So there are some amazing moments. And I mean moments where and I'll tell you the glasses that I put on, the filter, if you will, to watch this movie. I went in there and I said, there's a lot of friends, and I mean good friends of mine, that this is their favorite Dalton film. One step further, this is their favorite film. So I'm going to put myself into their shoes to experience this. And what I've come away with is Dalton, and Dalton. He is a dangerous Bond. He's a serious Bond, but he's got good quips. When he goes undercover, he's playing the role so perfectly. This guy, I've always said this, Timothy Dalton is an actor's actor. He's out of all the Bonds, and maybe he's right there with Craig. I mean, he is like a Shakespearean actor. Like, he fills the screen with his magnitude and his magnetism. But when he looks dangerous, even with that crazy haircut in the casino, you know, that kind of I want to drink your blood type, it doesn't matter. And this has always been dinged for style and fashion. I didn't look at that. I took off my sartorial hat and I put it into the shredder. And there it went, because I just appreciated Timothy Dalton's portrayal as Bond. Just like I appreciated Roger Moore's campiness and fun, the Dalton was dangerous. Dangerous Dalton. D squared. Yeah, that's what I came away with. And that's what was so fun about this film, and where I could appreciate those moments. Now, standouts for me, like the Bond girl, she's great. Pam is great. The Bond villain, Sanchez, to me, has always been chef kiss. I mean, Robert Davi's portrayal of a bad guy that seems dangerous, but also appreciates loyalty, dimensionality. To me, he's like almost like right there with Silva in Skyfall, where he's just that type of bad guy that you feel like is three-dimensional, not this like, mustache twirling. So I really appreciated this. But Dalton stole, he stole my soul. He grabbed it, and now I can absolutely appreciate the people that wave the Dalton flag and wave it for this film. I think I appreciate it more, because if you go into it and become like a Siamese twin, that is probably not politically correct way of saying, but you know what I'm talking about, and attach yourself at the hip of Dalton and become a partner of his and go through his journey, you will really like this film. And so I appreciate it more. Yeah, this has been an interesting marathon. I'm peckish, I'm hungry. I got some junk food. I'm going to eat some junk food, take a little break, because we are going to, this might be the last you see of David Zaritsky, Brosnan, and die another day. So let's see if I survive another day. Analyze this, analyze this. I will analyze this. Die another day. So, this is not going to surprise you. This was, it could be the weakest one that I've seen all day so far. I know, and you're like, David, you saw Diamonds Are Forever. What are you talking about? Are you hurt? Are you hurt? No, I'm okay. And I didn't cheat. I watched this entire film from beginning to end, even right to the ending where the plane is exploding. I will say this. I will say this, and I want to gravitate to the positives, because this is about appreciating the underappreciated. I didn't find this a bad film. I didn't. I never did. It's a fun film. It has its disconnects, but something did happen that we'll talk about. But I'm not ready to spill the beans yet of why I think I'm having such a positive day. But Brosnan. I will say this about Brosnan, and it kind of gets back to Roger Moore. Brosnan's Bonds are really consistent, not in writing and not in quality. I'm not here to say this is a GoldenEye or A World Is Not Enough. No. No. I haven't lost my senses, all right? But his performance and his portrayal, the fact that he is really playing this in a very serious way, yet his one-liners, his innuendos, the way he goes about it, his characterization of the lines and of the story are consistent. So I feel like I'm watching the same James Bond from beginning to end. If I think about GoldenEye and Die Another Day as bookends, I feel like I'm watching the same character, and I'm having fun. I love Brosnan. Long live the Brosnaissance. Brosnaissance, yes. Long live it, because I've always been a Brosnan fan. I hate when he got dinged because Daniel Craig came along, and I get it. I really appreciate Daniel Craig. I appreciate them all. Okay, all my children are beautiful children. But Brosnan, just there's something about him, the way he walks and holds himself. You can see he is the type of actor, character in James Bond. When he walks into a room, men are going to be like, why, that son of a bitch. And women are going to be like, why, that son of a bitch. So I just think that the way he comes across is pure fun. Now, here's my crazy moment in watching this in the marathon. I like the ending more than ever. Before that, the plane and the breaking down, I just said to myself, David, it's a volcano in the air. This is the big bad guy layer scene. And so don't take it as like the storyline, but the way they wove all the different story pieces with MI6, with what Halle Berry's character, Miranda Frost, were going through, what Bond was going through, I think they wove that and cut that very well. The slow-mo stuff, yeah, please don't do that no more. Don't do that no more. But everything else connected with me and I had fun. And I will say I caught myself smiling a lot during this film. So there we go. I enjoyed it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, my last movie, I'm staring at it right now, my last movie for my marathon, a little sad. I hadn't been having a good time, but that could all end, because I'm heading to Spectre, oh yeah, right across the way, so I'm going to use the facilities. Too much information, David. Why you got to go there? And I'm going to watch Spectre, and I will be right back to you. Yep. Okay. My theory was correct. Now, first of all, let me start off by saying I've never disliked Spectre. I like Spectre. There are parts that don't quite make the grade of some of my favorite films, like Blofeld, and the connection between Blofeld and Bond as stepbrothers, and some of the writing and the multiple endings that maybe aren't necessary, or fleshing out certain things, or how some of the scenes kind of look like they're cobbled together, that it's no Skyfall, that the color and the sepia, wow, David, really, you are just relentless. Yeah, so anyway, these are nothing new. We've had videos about this. You yourself have thought about these things. But I will tell you something. This has been one of my favorite times watching Spectre in a long time, and I realized something. I have not watched Spectre from the very first shot to when the credits roll in years. I've watched little parts to study it. Maybe I was doing something on Tom Ford, or something on Factory Entertainment. I wanted to see that part again. So I've seen it in parts, right? But not gestalt, not the sum of the parts equaling the whole. And I watched it as a whole, and I really enjoyed it. And I mean, I enjoyed it from beginning to end. I did. I enjoyed Daniel Craig. I know sometimes people ding him as like, sort of just kind of walking through some of the lines like, well, that's not the thing that looks good on a form. But I think his casualness, the cool, calm, cucumber Bond that I really liked in the other movies was very present. It was very present in this film. I liked a lot of things. There were some things that still didn't make the grade. The car chase, I'm just like, oh my gosh, what an opportunity scorned. But all right, it's two pretty cars going. And then I realized something. And this was a theory that I had around when I was watching Die Another Day, but I didn't quite spill it to you. What is going on in my head, and possibly your head, with these underappreciated, unappreciated Bond films? Why am I enjoying these so much more than ever? And it is because of all the experiences, all the Bond moments I've taken up all of these years. It has changed my point of view, my ocular look at these movies because of the filter that I now put them through. I remember when I'm watching Spectre how much I loved getting this jacket, the sunglasses, some of the props and pieces, going to Solden, going to Omega events that celebrated Spectre, putting some of the stickers on my computers and having fun. All of these memories, all of these experiences, I can't remove them. They are the filter to which I now see this film. So this film has now risen in my appreciation through all of the little moments and experiences that I've had around it. Going to the premiere, going to parties. This is where a lot of it all began. And so I'll never, happily, be able to watch Spectre with that kind of arched eyebrow, evil eye of analyzing it because of so many positive things associated with it. And that gets back to why these other films, I think, are being appreciated by all of you, by the entire Bond community. We are in a drought, people, a drought of new Bond content and film. The content that's out there are being created by you. Podcasts, vlogs, Instagram, posts, threads, parties, events, you name it. But all of those things have really taken the place of a new movie. We don't even have the preparation and the preheat of a new movie, like here's a production shot or here's a name of a movie. So we are gobbling all these things down. Every time we consume a new piece of content, our appreciation of the Bond films, they rise, and we want to have fun with them, and we want to revisit them and appreciate them even more. And so that's why this marathon was not just a marathon of unappreciated Bond films. It was a realization to me of why I can appreciate them more. Give it a try. Just try it. Take a film. It could be Quantum of Solace even, but I won't like you if it is. No, I'm fine with you. Try this. Watch it on a rainy day, get some food, get some drink, you know how to do this, and watch your under or unappreciated film and see if it's like a balloon, like helium, taking it up a notch or two. I think you'll find that because my experiment today was successful. I appreciated them more, all of them, more than I ever have before. All right. Thank you for joining me on this. This was fun. I'm pretty wide awake. Now, the question is, I'm on a roll with a marathon. Do I end the night with watching another unappreciated Bond film? Maybe I'll do that. I'll tell you what, do me a favor. Down in the comments below, let me know what is your one unappreciated Bond film that you adore, but an unappreciated Bond film that you don't, but you're willing to give it a new chance. Maybe a new filter like I did today. I'll leave you to it. In the meantime, this has been David Zaritsky for the Bond Experience. We'll see you all real soon. Take care. Thanks for watching this episode. If you want to be up on the latest from the Bond Experience, just click on this subscribe and subscribe to our channel. You're going to get all the latest and greatest information, plus some exclusive content. And by the way, speaking of content, here's something especially for you, just because we know you. Talk to you soon.